My digital storytelling project is on the Heisman debate between Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook. First up, we'll look at LSU's running back, Leonard Fournette, one of the best running backs in the nation who has completely demolished teams this season. Through the first 10 weeks of the season, Fournette has run for 1,383 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns, leading the Bayou Bengals to a top 10 ranking, and before Saturday's loss to Alabama, an undefeated season. Fournette started the season as one of the top Heisman candidates and has certainly lived up to the hype. Fournette has carried the ball 195 times this season and is averaging 7.9 yards per carry. Fournette has had to carry a large load of offense due to the fact that LSU's quarterback, Brandon Harris, has only been able to find the end zone 10 times for the Tigers this year. Despite the Tigers' loss on November 7th to Alabama, LSU still has hopes to make the second ever college football playoff. If and how they get there will be determined by the remaining games for Alabama, along with the play of Leonard Fournette. Against the Tide, Fournette had his least productive game of the season, recording only 31 rushing yards and breaking a 7-game streak where he rushed for over 150 yards. Fournette was at his best this season during a 3-game streak against Syracuse, Auburn, and Eastern Michigan. The running back totaled 8 touchdowns and over 700 yards in those 3 contests alone. The remainder of the season doesn't get easier for Fournette. However, as LSU takes on 3 SEC West opponents to close out the season, fighting for a spot in the Southeastern Conference title game against Florida. Next, let's jump to the ACC and discuss Florida State's running back Dalvin Cook. Cook has had to carry a similar workload to Fournette this season due to the inability of quarterbacks Everett Golson and Sean McGuire. Cook has played in 8 games this season and has been dealing with a nagging hamstring injury, but hasn't let that affect his play. Cook has run for 12 rushing touchdowns and 1,231 yards this season and caught a touchdown pass to beat rival Miami in October. The Seminoles have lost twice this season to Georgia Tech and Clemson, but Cook showed up during both contests. Cook scored a rushing touchdown in both games for the Noles, scoring on a short yardage play against the Yellow Jackets and a 75-yard tear Saturday against the Tigers. The Seminoles' chances of making the Atlantic Coast Conference title game are gone due to Saturday's loss, but Cook's Heisman hopes are very much alive as the season winds down. Florida State will take on NC State, Chattanooga, and the Florida Gators to close out the season. 2 of those being teams Cook saw success against as a backup running back just last year. In 2014, Cook ran for just under 200 yards combined against Florida and NC State and will look to replicate that success down the stretch. As the season winds down, both running backs have their sights set on a New Year's Day bowl game, trying to become one of the top 4 teams in the college football playoff. But since Saturday's losses made that a distant goal for both teams, the running backs' focus may shift to the potential for individual postseason accolades. Fournette posed as the Heisman winner during his freshman year and could make that showboating prediction come true. Cook has burst onto the scene as FSU's top back this year, and if he continues to break defenders' ankles, he will run all the way to a Heisman bid. We won't know the top potential winners for the Heisman until December, but if I had to decide today, Cook and Fournette would be at the top of that short list of elite college football talent.